Hello everybody and welcome back to PokeWeek. For this week we're going to be not doing an unboxing necessarily, as you can see from the title. This week we'll actually be doing something a little different. This week we'll be talking about how to see the difference between a real card and a fake card. Now there are three ways I use to see the difference between a real and fake card. Which here I actually have a real and fake card, which I'll try and give you a better look at right here. So, as you can see, we have a real and fake card, and they're both pretty beat up right now. And I'll explain why I chose pretty beat up cards for this example. But basically, these are the top three ways that I use to find if a card is real or fake. If I have any suspicions that a card may be fake, then I will do these checks in this order, because at the end you may make a fatal mistake and then regret thinking it's fake in the first place, you know? So, these three steps start off with like the simplest, least harmful things to the cards, and then go to the best way to check, you know, going to almost guaranteed. If you don't like it basically almost guaranteed it's fake if not almost guaranteed, it's fake if you do the check and certain results come out. So to get started, the first check I like to do is just make sure the card's real, you know? Just make sure the card's realistic. Make sure it matches up with the card you're trying to buy or whatever. And where you'd be checking to see if a card's fake or not is usually if you're buying a card, or if you got a card and now you're suspicious. Like, let's say you got it online and you're suspicious, oh, this doesn't look exactly right. Then it's great to just give it a check, see if it's real, see if it's not, see if you got scammed, before you're not able to return it or contact the person that gave it to you. Online, of course, these days is where you're going to mainly get scammed. But fake cards are just becoming less of the scam, and it's more, you know, it really depends on what you're doing. If it's singles, fake cards are very possible, you know. So the first check, just make sure it's like reasonable. Make sure it looks like the card. This, as you can see, has an example of not being reasonable. And as you can see, this has 8,000 health. That is not normal for Pokemon. As you can see, this one has 60 health. 8,000 health is not normal. So if you see something, and if you're not sure, by the way, like if I looked at this 8,000 health and I was just like, oh, it could be the card, make sure to just go on, like, you know, Pokemon, Poke Collector, or like those kinds of websites, or even just Google. Search up the card and give it a quick check, give it a quick look, make sure they look almost perfectly, at least almost perfectly the same, you know? So the next check you're actually going to be looking for, which I would call like stage 2 or whatever, is actually on the back, believe it or not. Now, these backs are pretty beat up. I didn't take care of these cards really well. This one is a real Pokemon, and this one's a fake one, so I didn't really care to take care of this one. But this one, the reason why I didn't take care of it is because this was when I was a kid and when I started Pokemon, and I didn't protect my cards and stuff, so this one got pretty beat up in the process. So that's why I'm using this for an example. Now, if we take a look at the back of a regular real Pokemon card, you can see that this patch right here, see how it's a light blue? Well, if you take a look on a fake card, any fake card, at least normally any fake card, will have this patch not be the same light blue. Usually I like to compare, like when I'm trying to see if a card is fake or not, I like to compare it to another Pokemon just to like make sure I'm doing it correctly. But as you can see, it is still a lighter blue than out here, but it's not, it's more of like a purple or like that kind of stuff instead of this this nice luscious blue right here. It's definitely more dark. But let's say you're still not sure. Everything is the same, or I don't know, you're still not sure for some reason. Well, the third and final check is, and the most, like, the best way to check a card because of how, how fake cards are made, is to actually rip it. Yeah, so if you're really not sure, now make sure you're sure that it's a fake card and just use it as confirmation, But, if you take and rip this card, you can see this area right here? See how it's all white? Well, that is, believe it or not, see how this is all white? Believe it or not, that is not normal. And that's why I chose a beat up card. This will make sense now. If you rip a normal Pokemon card that's real, if you look in that crack, it's hard to see on the camera. See that, like, lining that looks, it's like a black ink lining? You can see, now it's hard to see on the camera, but you can see black ink from when it got printed. No matter what, a fake card will not have that black ink line. So that is the official best way to check for a fake card. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to rip it if it's real, so just be sure to do the first couple checks and maybe even look around for a couple others. These are just the ones I know, by the way, from my personal experience. And yeah, stay safe from scams.